Welcome to episode number 41 of the Eavesdrop podcast, brought to you by Seagate, the best external and internal hard drives that you can. If you like to remember things, if you like your memory, and if you like your computer's memory above everything else, and having a seamless processor do the processing and then have that store all the things that you need storage for, Seagate is the place to be. Maniac, thank you so much for stopping by, man. You're an honorable guest for me.
Hey, man. Thanks for the invite.
You're wearing BTH behind the hype.
Believe
it. No, but you're behind the Believe the Hype.
Yes, I am.
You are
officially
now.
Dude,
so you got the whole thing.
I did the actual. Well, I wouldn't say but I got the people.
Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you one thing.
To do the actual
stuff. From here on out. Okay, from here on out, anybody that you pay to do your work for you, you take credit for it.
So I did it.
You did it.
Okay.
Yeah. You think I?
Well,
do you think I say, hey, Matt, fucking edited this vlog in this podcast? No, he gets paid. He's not doing me a favor. He's getting paid to do it.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't pay these guys though.
Wait,
they were like fans, I guess. One of them came up to me at the gym. Mm-hmm. He asked about taxes, and I was like, yeah, like I could use help with that. And then I started talking about like, hey, do you guys know anything about like LLCs, trademarking, stuff like that? And then they were like, yeah, we can help you. And then they just did it all for free.
So shout out to them.
Shouts out to them, Kenny and Christian.
Kenny, Christian, you guys are the man.
Thank you.
And if you guys are offering free help, I can always use some. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they might, honestly. But
no, I'm good. I was just totally kidding. I would never, ever take advantage of the Green Wall. Also, shout out to every single one of the Green Wall members that signed this for us. I put this up for you guys for this episode just to show my appreciation because it meant a lot to me, this gift. After Champs, we had this sort of meetup in the back where, and we didn't do it for everyone, but every single one of the players, because we when the players usually lose, like they can't, right? And it's understandable. Yeah, you know, as a competitor,
I know, like you don't want to talk to, just you want to get out of there.
Yeah, you don't even, because it's like you feel ashamed. And I was trying to tell the rest of the players, I'm like, look, I understand that you guys feel ashamed, and I understand that right now is the last time or the least opportune time for you to do something with the fans, but I'm like, they're with you through the highs and the lows. Let's get out there, let's say hello, let's shake some hands, kiss some babies. Yeah, all of them, every single one of them.
Nice.
And then obviously Holly was there, Dana was there, I don't know, Izzy was there. Anyway, so we all took like a big family picture, and it was a very special moment for me. I'll always remember for the rest of my life. And then right after that, somebody came up to me and gave me this gift. It's a gift from the Green Wall that everybody signed.
That's a tough
Wait,
gift.
Did you sign that?
Yeah, I signed it right there.
You're part of the Green Wall,
man.
That's
a tough gift to give away as a fan. Imagine.
Yeah.
Like you have like everyone.
Yeah,
and then you give it away.
Who? I'm not giving it away.
No, I mean he gave it to you.
Yeah, well, it was from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong. This was specifically made as a gift for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's very sweet.
Yeah, so I'm really hype about it. It's gonna go somewhere. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Yeah. So thank you. We have Eric. So for all those of you who are listening on the on audio only, the Green Wall gave me a gift after the game, which is a flag. It looks handmade because there's like a little bleed on the OG. So it's like an American flag, but it's got the OG in the upper left hand corner where the stars usually go, and then it's got it's super dope. You should check out the video so you guys can see it. But anyway, thank you so much. I mean it. It's one of my favorite things in life now. So I appreciate y'all. On that note, Nick, thank you for stopping by. It's been a long time. I've been trying to get you on the podcast for like literally I don't know. This is the 41st episode. So for 30 episodes, I've been trying to get you on. I wanted you to be in the top 10. I find you interesting.
Really?
I do, because
I'm a little weird, I guess.
Yeah, no, I didn't say you're interesting.
Oh,
I say I find you interesting. That doesn't mean
that makes more sense.
Yeah, like I love Louis, the Pomeranian, but that doesn't mean that everybody.
I love him too, actually.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that other people are gonna be annoyed by his yappiness.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So
and wait, am I the last like kind of OpTic member? Is there y'all missing anyone else?
From the original house, yeah. From 6050? No, Clayster. Well, from From the Scuff House. Yeah, I think you are because
Has Pamaj been on this?
yeah, Pamaj was episode number 5. I think
Okay.
he's in the top 3 most watched Eavesdrops. Yeah. Well,
I make that face because I just hate on Pamaj, but I hate on him in a friendly way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
no, it's that brotherly love, man.
Yeah.
People don't get it. Anyway, I wanted to dive deep into the mind of Maniac. I find the topic very, very appealing, and I have my own specific reasons. I don't know if I'll mention them why, but I do. Maybe we'll discuss it as to why I think that you're like an interesting individual. But first of all, who are you today?
Who am I today? Someone trying to figure. Who am I today? Someone that just realized I'm going to have to make this happen. I'm going to have to live the rest of my life and provide for myself strictly. Like, I'm going to have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I need to, like, not,
As opposed to who?
like, I don't know. It just, I feel like growing up, first you have your parents, then you're kind of in your early 20s. And you still have an excuse, sort of, not to have shit figured out. Move into the OpTic house, like you took care of like everything. Didn't have to worry about anything. And then now it's like, oh shit, here comes the real world.
Do you think that was a bad thing that I did? That I didn't?
No, I think it's like it was almost like needed. Like, how else would that situation work?
Yeah.
If there wasn't someone who knew what they were doing, taking care of the stuff that they know 10 to 15 other people were coming in and out of the house that they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how else that situation could have worked.
Yeah. So you're that guy today.
Yeah, today I'm that guy that I'm like, oh shit.
How old are you?
I just turned 28.
29?
28.
28. I've been saying you're
Let's get
29
it
for the
clear.
past 5 years.
People have been saying 30, 34, like.
Well, I personally
20.
said 29 for the past 5 years. I think.
Yeah, but yeah, I just turned 28.
And I'll give you some inspiration. Okay, I literally almost went broke. I'm talking about chapter 11, fucking broke, or 13, broke by the time I was 29, right? Because of the mortgage industry. I was so embedded in it, and I was such a hustler that I was like doing my best to do what I needed to do to make that money. But when the industry crashed, everything else crashed with it. I went from having, from Jude and I having a Mercedes and a BMW to not being able to afford that, to not being able to afford our home, our first house ever. Which was in Schaumburg. It's a townhouse where OpTic started. I love that place. And I still made it out alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I'm saying I have faith, as if like I'm in some like terrible spot right now, but now I think I can handle it.
I think you're good. I think that once you get to a certain level, if you do whatever it is that you can in order to keep that sort of status alive, then you'll be fine. I've always had this theory from 2011. If you can get 1,000 viewers on Twitch, you're good. You can make a living off of that. But
I haven't had that in a while.
No? Where are you at now? You used to get like
it depends what time of day, but yeah, I used to like get viewers like that. But I mean, weirdly enough, back when I used to get viewers like that, I had like way less subs. Mm-hmm. But now the whole gifted sub thing, like I make more money now on Twitch than when I was like getting 3 or 4 times the viewership.
Yeah.
But I mean, right now I'll be at like 300, sometimes 600. Like it varies.
Yeah.
But I'm also not the most consistent streamer, so
you're not.
I don't
think you're the most consistent
anything. I'm not the most consistent human.
But to me, that's a little bit like baffling, because you without kissing your ass and without it sounding like you have it, like you have that entertainment thing that makes people want to watch. You're funny. your dry sense of humor is like fucking spot on, better than a lot of people that I know that try to do that dry humor. So for me, it's always been like I've never been worried about you if that's the case. Other, like other people, sometimes I'm like, whoa, come here, don't fucking leave from right here, right? But you have never been worried about. It's just is what do you think it is that doesn't allow you to just say, you know what, fucking every day from
Dude.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm not trying to compare you to me, but I've been streaming for the past 3 weeks. I'm talking about consistently, and I've never streamed like this ever.
Right.
It makes it easy that I'm playing a game that I love, which is Minecraft. It makes it easy
with friends that you love,
with friends that I like. Well, that I love. But at the same time, like the most successful streams I've had in the past 3 weeks have been the solo ones, where I'm just alone.
Same.
But I'm not alone.
Always.
I have fucking like 2,500 people with me.
Yeah. I'm
watching me run for 4 hours.
My streams, it's weird. My streams go bad if I'm playing with someone else. If the best streams ever are when I'm playing solo, which is 90%, 95% of my streams. And I don't know, it gets, do you find it exhausting?
Yesterday I did.
You're extroverted, so I think you're a very like talkative person, and
I like to be the center of attention.
Sure.
Class clown.
Do you feel exhausted, like
yesterday
interacting with your chat, like for 4 to 8 hours or however long you play?
Yesterday I did.
Yeah.
I streamed for 6 hours, and before I knew it, it was 6 hours, and I was just like, fuck, I gotta do. It was I think it was like 10 o'clock at night yesterday, and I had 2 more calls to make that night. I had 2 more calls to get on the phone, have a meeting about business and that. So I get out and I'm like, Jesus Christ, because I'm like, my legs were hurting. Something about the chair was like making my hamstrings. They were like, they had, you know how when you have tight socks on,
I guess, yeah.
And they leave the imprint.
Yeah,
that's what my thighs look like.
Yeah,
so I was just like, damn, I gotta do a better job. And I don't pee. I have the strongest bladder in the history of mankind.
So much.
I don't, and I'm drinking water constantly, and I just hold it so good. I don't, and it's not even holding it. It's just that my bladder's like, it's not time. It's not you stick to the point. Good. Yeah, I drove 6 hours straight from my house to Golden, Missouri, this past weekend to go on my annual trip. Didn't stop once. Maybe drive through to get food, but aside from that, no way. I didn't pee. I peed when it was time to pee. It was in that. So I literally sat for 6 hours yesterday, and then 4 hours a day before just running on Minecraft for 4 hours straight, going forward and beelining.
You're different, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, what was your question earlier? Like, why? Talking about like my consistency.
No, let's continue to talk about me. It's my podcast. No, I'm kidding. No, but for real, what do you think it is that doesn't allow you to just say, you know what, dude, I'm gonna stick to the schedule.
I don't like. I wish I wasn't like. I guess I used to get offended when people called me lazy. But then there's times where it's like I'm the complete opposite of lazy in like my own way. Like whenever I started to learn to make beats, like I was not lazy in that aspect. Like I was like studying the game, like always doing it. But then, dude, I don't know I wish I had. I feel like I just don't have energy sometimes. Like there's some people who like I don't think you could lay in bed all day.
Yes, I can.
You could?
I in all last year.
Really?
No. Some of the days I remember like Jude saying, it's like, so you gonna stay in there all day? Because I would go to my theater room and just watch shows like all day. And I wasn't depressed and I wasn't sad about the shit that was happening.
Yeah.
It was just like I found like time to finally catch up on a bunch of shows that I want to catch up on. So I can't. Jude, if you ask Jude, she'll tell you that I'm lazy.
Okay.
No bullshit. Yeah.
That's funny. I would not think that. I don't know. It's like I hate the word mental health, but like I mean,
why?
It became such like a
stigma.
I don't know. I don't even really know what stigma means, but it just became like sort of a cop out for a lot of people. like they'll bring up their mental health instead of they'll bring up their mental health before they bring up what they've been eating, exercising, and stuff like that. But I do, like, even for myself, like the beginning of this year, I was not really like drinking. I was like what I considered like being really healthy, exercising, eating really clean, or I wouldn't say eating really clean, but like eating good, reading, meditating, doing yoga, and running, and still I found myself not having energy, something just sort of like, I don't want to say crippling, but like after, say I do all that, I wake up and I do all that stuff in the morning, I don't want to, I get a sense of anxiety, like, fuck, and I still gotta like stream. Like, I'm already exhausted. Like, I could just lay in this bed for the rest of the day and just like watch stuff. And people will say like, oh, that's just you being lazy. But it's like, I don't know. I'm tired. Like, I don't have the energy. Like,
I think a lot of people relate with that.
I do too. Especially in this industry, the gaming industry. I think a lot of people will relate to it. But I don't know what it is. Some people just have a lot of energy. I think other people don't. I don't know if it's kind of like how your brain was wired when you were a kid, how you were raised. Maybe I've done it for years and years and years. Like, I remember when I was a Halo pro, like I would go to school, go to work, come home, scrim for like intensely, like be focused on it for like 4 hours, and like I was fine. But I don't know, something, I guess maybe as I got older, I'm starting to lose the passion for video games, and I don't know.
Well, I'm about to be 40 in 6 months, 8 months. I haven't lost no passion for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's that. I think it's because
I randomly get a passion for it. Mm-hmm. Like, I hated Blackout, and like now I'm watching Blackout streams, even off stream I'm like playing a little bit. My girlfriend will sit there and I'll like kind of teach her a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's, but so like I'll randomly catch this wave of like sort of inspiration to
do shit.
Yeah, do stuff. But then it'll kind of dwindle away, and I'll just be like, fuck. Like, and I'll kind of get in that shitty spot again.
Yeah. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Hagerstown, Maryland, also, but then I moved to Falling Waters, West Virginia, mm-hmm. and that's where I spent, I would say, I moved to Falling Waters, West Virginia from, I'd say, like the age of like 7 to 14. Then I moved back to Maryland to finish high school. So yeah, nothing.
When did you start playing video games? Like, how old were you?
Started playing, I've always kind of been playing video games like every kid did, like N64, Mario Kart, stuff like that. But I mean, I really got into it whenever Halo 1 first dropped. I didn't have an Xbox or anything.
How did you come across that game though?
Going to, back when I was active at like, 11 years old or something, go to my friend's house, we play basketball, we play backyard football, but then they also had Halo 1, they'd set up like 4 TVs in their garage, we'd play like 2v2s in Halo 1.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I don't even know, I think we called it System Link back then. Mm-hmm. Now it'd be known as LAN. But yeah, I was probably like 11 or something playing Halo 1. And it all started from my friend's garage. I was so excited, or that's when my parents were divorced. I'd visit my dad every other weekend, and that was the only time I got to play Halo. And I was so excited every time I got to go to my dad's house, because I'd go to my friend's house.
And not because you were going to go visit your dad,
no,
because of Halo.
You don't care about that when you're younger.
Yeah.
At least, I don't, maybe.
No,
but,
I agree.
But yeah, I'd go to my dad's house, and then I'd just go to my friend's house, and we would play Halo 1 System Link, and I was addicted. I loved doing that. And then when I finally got my Xbox,
how did you get your Xbox?
I think like for Christmas or something, and then got Xbox Live with it, and then it was over from there, nonstop, like bad.
Yeah.
I wonder what I would do. Like, what would you do if Liv started, as a parent, started addictively playing?
I think anything. If Jude or I ever caught her just doing one thing and one thing only,
unhealthy.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Unhealthy?
Sort of like all day, and then like that's all she wants to do. Kind of throws a fit if you can't.
Well, my daughter would never throw a fit. We don't play that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, and I tell her, I'm like, well, listen, darling, your luck, and I not that I wouldn't. I would treat. If I had a son, I would treat him differently than I would my daughter. And I know that in this day and age, that's super like that. But I do think, that I would be different. And it's not a sex thing. It's not a male or female thing. It's just the way that I am. I see her as a precious thing. But I also try to make sure that I am doing my very best at empowering her and making sure that I don't give her any breaks on anything. When it comes to I don't even know how to explain it, but I make sure that if she needs help with something, I'll sit there and see her try it. I don't want no shortcuts here. I make sure that I sit there and Jude's like, she's 9.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But I don't say it like that in front of her, but I don't care. Yeah. She's gonna have to try and try and try and try and try and try and try. My biggest fear is for her to grow up as a rich kid. That is my biggest fucking fear.
Yeah.
I just can't allow that.
Yeah. I wonder if, so from the reason we moved to West Virginia from like 7 to 14 or whatever is because my mom got remarried. And this guy was the most, and I wonder, I kind of want to go to therapy to see if like.
Well, let's talk about it now.
My childhood kind of did something to me. Because this guy, I don't want to say he was verbally abusive, but he was pretty verbally abusive. Like every day, I would just how he yelled at us, the kids. How I'd hear him yell at my mom. Of course, my mom's arguing back, but like that was it seemed like, I don't want to over exaggerate, but like. Looking back at it, it seemed like, and I never really thought of it until sort of in my recent years now. I'm like, why am I the way I am? And like every day, it was just all I heard was arguing. Me and my brother weren't really allowed in the house until it got dark out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Like we would have to just be outside every day after school. Like go outside. You're not sitting in the house, and you're not being a couch potato.
Yeah.
But whenever we got the very rare chance to play video games, like we absolutely loved it. And then
what is your dad? I mean, so this other man, right? Stepdad was yelling at you.
Yeah.
Your dad didn't. Did you tell your dad? Would your dad have done anything?
I mean, as a kid, you just look at it like you're being yelled at, or like this guy's a dick.
Yeah.
But it was. I don't know if he was bipolar, but I think he kind of was, because he was supportive, and like he'd take me to my football games. He would show up at every football game. He'd take me to my practices, sit in his truck while like I'm practicing for an hour and a half, basketball games, stuff like that. So he was very supportive in that way. But then it was the feeling of when you heard him say you're in the house, you heard him enter the house, you're like, fuck, like what's he gonna yell out about today? Is there gonna be an issue? And you kind of just wait for him to come upstairs, open your room, and like bitch about something.
Like what?
I don't know.
Leaving your clothes, dirty shoes.
Yeah, something. Just always bitching about something, and just always just an uncomfortable feeling when he got home.
So sort of like me walking into the scuff house.
Sort of like that, except, I mean, yeah, to a certain degree, but there was no, it was different with you, obviously, and obviously because we were older, but as a kid, it was just very, I think just verbally abusive.
Like, what would he say to you? Would he call you like a little F word?
No, not like that. Just yelling.
Like,
just,
get your ass in there.
Yeah.
Why didn't you fucking put the toilet seat down?
Yeah, I don't even have
your
like
little sister fell
specifics of like what he did. It was just a dick.
Yeah. Do you think that you had something to do with it though? Like, obviously he's was he triggered out of nowhere?
I was a bad kid, but I was a bad kid at like school. Mm-hmm. I was a bad kid as far as like back talking my mom.
Yeah.
But to him, no. Like, he couldn't help me with my homework without me crying, but like that way. Mm-hmm. And I don't like looking back. I can't like remember specifics, like why am I crying doing my homework? But like as a kid, I guess he was just terrible at dealing with it. I mean, I'm sure my mom wouldn't care of me saying this, but like how bad it got is he was at work one day and we randomly called our family members and we're like, hey, come help us pack our shit. We left. Mm-hmm. I never saw him again.
Damn.
After living with him for, 7-8 years or something?
Really?
Yeah. One day we just packed our shit while he was at work and we moved. And he came home to sort of an empty house and realized, wow, they just left and we never saw him again.
How do you know that's what he felt, though? Is that what you think you felt, or is that did he reach out and say, yo?
He eventually, I mean, he was pretty devastated. He reached out to my mom a few times. I know he like went to Paris maybe for like what would you call it, like because he was so fucked up after it. I think he went to Paris and sort of had like a revelation. I think he called my mom, sort of like breaking down and just apologizing for everything. And yeah, but that's just how bad it got, to where like we knew we wouldn't be able to deal with moving out and like getting a divorce and stuff with him. So we just had to like do it while he was gone.
Yeah.
Or it would have been problems. Like,
did you see it coming, or one day your mom's like, yo, pack your shit, we're fucking out?
Sort of saw it coming, but one night my mom just got home and was like, I can't do it anymore. We're leaving tomorrow. And it was pretty abrupt. It was kind of sudden, but yeah, that's what happened.
And then your dad, like your actual dad, do you still keep in touch with him, or
what, at that point, or right
today?
My dad passed away. Oh, you knew that?
I did.
He passed away. Well, I
did know that.
I was I was 21, so it's been some time. But
up until that point,
my dad was very like chill, non-confrontational. My mom would always
like you.
Yeah, my mom would always call him a dick and stuff, but that's probably how I could be considered in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like looked at as a dick just because I'm not chill. I'm not going to sit there and argue.
Yeah.
But my dad also had like drinking problems and stuff like that. So I don't know what went on between my dad and my mom, but between me and my dad, like it was a good relationship.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what.
But sorry. Yeah. But what I did want to say is, as a kid growing up, I wasn't really allowed to play video games. But right when we moved, and it was just me, my brother, and my mom. It was just my mom. My mom would work like 2 jobs, and a full time, and then a part time, and then so me and my brother were home a lot by ourselves, and we had freedom to do basically anything we wanted. And with that freedom, both of us really chose video games. So it went from like not really being able to play video games at all to like, holy shit, this is my chance. I can play as much as I want. And then that's kind of how, like, and I'm wondering like if I was allowed to play video games,
how much better would you have been?
No. When I was younger, like would I have kind of got it out of my system, and like so when I moved, I wouldn't be fully on addicted. Like now I have,
because it was like a forbidden sort of fruit that you couldn't do, so you wanted it.
Exactly. I wonder if that's how it kind of got started. But yeah, once we moved, I could play as much as I wanted, and that's sort of how the addiction started.
Yeah, so you call it an actual addiction. You wanted to do that
Video
incessantly.
games? Yes.
Now, do you think is the fun of the video game itself, or how good you were at the game?
Back then, I think it was just the competition.
Okay,
I
so it
didn't
is.
play. I was very competitive. I didn't play like when I played Mario Kart. Like I'm trying to play against my brother,
Yeah.
or like someone else. Or,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to do that when I'm playing like NBA 2K or NBA Live. Back in the day, I was trying to play against someone else. I wasn't much of a. I was always multiplayer gamer.
Still
Xbox Live.
Still to this day.
Yes.
You play everything.
Yeah. And I don't play the Red Dead Redemptions. I don't play the story modes, the Fables, I have to be playing against someone else to get a reward from
beating them
or yeah.
I was talking to Rick Fox last week for the podcast, and same thing. You know, it's all about the competition. It's not necessarily. It's more you're addicted to how good you are at something more than the actual video game. And then if you're a competitive person, then that just adds on to it because it's sort of like a certification of the fact that you are good at something. Yeah. So that becomes a little bit more addicting. And I think that happens with every competitive person in any case, shape, or form. My thing is, though, is that imagine if you would have kept, if your mom would have stayed with dude, right? Imagine if rules still applied and then you pick something else up and now you're an accountant somewhere.
Yeah.
Not enjoying life the way that you're enjoying life now.
Sure. Yeah.
Like probably hating it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have a choice. When you live outside of this bubble, outside of this creator bubble, this entertainment bubble, with the same sort of personality that you have no choice but to go to work to pay your fucking bills. Here,
right.
You have so much freedom.
Right.
So much freedom.
Too much
freedom. No structure. That it's sort of a personality like you could not, like Hutch, for example. That's my boy. Love the guy to death. He's not, I'm not comparing the city, but he's also that same way. He could, in my opinion, can only live on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And he's good at it. He's a good. I think he could do a little bit better. I think that if he had a podcast and he had I think that he is, and obviously I'm not talking shit about him because it's public, but I see also so much potential in him on shit that he can still fucking kill it at today. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. I don't think we talked about it as the competition aspect, and we talk about how many people out there are, and every single podcast I bring it up is how many people out there haven't discovered what they are best at.
But what's weird is you said I don't know what the hell you said, but if I could be an accountant right now, I'd be miserable. But I've had jobs and I wasn't that miserable. Like what? I've had jobs where I was working 8 hours a shift. I was stocking shelves. But it wasn't, and then I'd come home and I'd practice for 4 or 5 hours with my team. But I wasn't maybe at the time, maybe I did kind of fucking hate it. Yeah. But looking back at it, I sort of, because when I went to my job, everyone I worked with, I was pretty much friends with. My manager, I was friends with. So maybe I just had a good job. Mm-hmm. But I've had multiple jobs, and it's you hate going to it. But when you're actually there, it's not as bad as you think, because as I got older, or when you find times in your life where you don't have shit to do and you just feel super lonely, those are the real worst times, rather than having tests. Rather than having a job that you go to, and at least it puts some structure in your life, rather than just not knowing or not really wanting to do shit, or having shit to do. That's the worst. Yeah,
I mean, I guess when you don't know anything else but the things that you're doing, I guess there really isn't anything that there is to do. You know what I'm saying? It just is. It just happens to be that way. It's fascinating to me the amount of people that I've come into contact with because of the internet and all that, because nowadays you hear, and it's good. It's a good thing, obviously. Identifying that somebody sort of is different in some sort of way, whether it's emotional, mental, or whatever. Where back in the day, nobody had that thing. Nobody Nobody. I feel like in the past, like nobody was allowed to be sad.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about this the other day, but like back in the day before the internet and stuff, were people, when there wasn't internet and it was just the people you knew were like the neighbors or, you know, stuff like that. Like every day they'd wake up, they knew there was work to be done in the farm or whatever the hell they did back then. Like, were they happier than people today?
Yeah.
I think they were.
Yeah, of course.
Because it was way more simple.
Yeah.
You don't see people on Instagram and Twitter doing all this stuff.
Dope shit.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, it fucks with me when I see like I'm happy for Hitch's stream popping off, everything he's doing, but then it like kind of makes you feel like shit. Like, man, like I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
And like just see, but you see that all the time on like social media, like Instagram, you see people traveling, doing all this dope stuff. Nate shots, like Drake's investing in his company. And it's like, God, that shit's so dope. And then it kind of makes you feel shitty about yourself.
Is it though, or is it inspiration?
It
a little bit of both?
I think a little bit of both. It depends on the person. And like sometimes I will get inspired by that. Sometimes, but other times it'll make you feel shitty. But yeah, I don't know. But back in the day, they didn't see that. They just got the job done.
They just were.
They just yeah.
If I can go, I mean, obviously, like I grew up in the 80s, right? 90s. So back then there was no way of seeing like in Juarez, Mexico, you just saw, if you were in your neighborhood, that's all you knew.
Yeah.
You know, somebody got on a bus, they went to work, and somebody got off on the bus right in front of your house, and that was that. That was my dad's job. And that's all you knew. All you know is that. So until somebody shows you, like imagine if we got the window to a world in which, you know, there's no fossil fuels being used, there's no like bad shit happening because they found the secret of why people were violent. Like, and you get a win like that, then you're gonna feel shitty about yourself because you get to see what you don't know. Doesn't, you know, innocence is bliss, as they say.
Sure.
Right. So when you don't get to have the opportunity to say, wait,
innocence or ignorance?
Ignorance. What did I say? Innocence.
You said innocence.
Innocence is also bliss, but yes, ignorance is bliss.
You said innocence. But I was like, I think it's ignorance. But
it is
innocence kind of makes
bliss.
sense
yeah,
too.
Yeah. No, they both are. So I wasn't wrong. But yes, ignorance is bliss. Yes. Like what you don't know.
Very much so.
Yeah, and I get it. Like I, you know, while I've been sitting on the bench for the last like it didn't anger me and it didn't get me sad. I don't know what sort of feelings I had because again, I never grew up in a place where I was allowed to be sad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had there's no choice to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like majority of the people in the world just go about their lives living without options, like without knowing that they have an option to be sad or an option to be angry or an option to feel.
I've been watching a lot of, for some reason, food truck like shows where like these people that live in like New York City, they're just making like say like a Mexican food truck, like they're showing up, they're working 8 to 12 hours a day, like they have to do their own grocery shopping for the truck, everything, and they like are happy about it. They're like, yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years, gonna do it till I die, and like they're happy about it. And then there's people like me or people like y'all that are here listening, watching, you're like unhappy, but you have, well, I'm not saying I'm unhappy, but you have so much freedom to do whatever, but it's like, it's almost like too much freedom. And it's like, how are these people that are forced to do this sort of like hard work every single day happier than someone who kind of gets to pick and choose what they do? And I don't know, it's weird. For the longest time, a 60-50 when we first moved in, and I think Nate coined this, but it like he said, is like, you know, he would say, and Big Timer too, it like became a thing. It's like, we're out of the matrix. You know what I'm saying? Because we couldn't believe that we were getting paid to play video games. You know, living a life where I had to work in corporate America so many years, XXXXXX, to get to do this, like I cannot fathom.
and I even told Jude this. Jude has always been like a super hard worker. She started working when she was 14. Nobody told her, so she just did it. Every single job that she's had, she's been really successful at because she's a good worker, right? And she's always been like very political, very nice, very sweet to everybody. Now,
except you, because I think Jude's like the sweetest.
Yeah,
but I don't know what.
Except me,
I don't know what.
Go ahead.
Because we were well. I don't know. I think Jude's the sweetest girl ever.
Except for me.
But I'm sure at home you're like, oh no, you don't know. Jude's bitching at me.
Yeah, you don't. No, so I mean that happens with everyone though, right? Like it's that things like, you know, Halle Berry's like somebody's sick of, you know, being with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Good point.
I'm obviously not sick of being with her. Like she's the best, but no, I mean, obviously, as a human, like, you think I'm the best, right? But I'm not. I'm not the best. You know, sometimes I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
sometimes. Not all the time.
Not all the time.
But I asked her too. I'm like, how do you think you? I mean, now that we are who we are, like, how do you think that you would fare in a job environment? Because I don't think she'd do well in that anymore. You know,
what do you think she kind of?
Well, she's always been like a lead.
She probably just has her passion elsewhere.
Yeah, no. Well, the thing is, like, she's always been a leader, but she sort of like fell into this like follower role that you're sort of molded into when you're at work. But there's no way that she just all of a sudden became like an alpha female. You know what I'm saying? Because she's very like forward and very, you know, smart about everything that she does. And in the past, like, she was always like a really good worker. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was never like me, hustling to get higher and higher and higher and higher in the position to make more. She was just like coasting. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that she could ever go back to something like that. And it sort of brings back the thing that we always thought, because she doesn't believe in schooling, right? She believes in education, but not schooling the way that schooling is, right?
Like public schooling?
Yeah, just any sort of schooling. How do I explain how she feels that
how bad the education system is?
Yeah, and obviously it's not the teacher's fault. It's our educational system that doesn't reward them properly. But I don't know. It's one of those things where we were very mindful of the fact that we wanted Olivia to not be taught by anybody else besides, you know, us in a sense. But I mean, she's got her own curriculum that's, you know, doctors and doctorates and all this shit, like an actual curriculum that educates her on that. But from a cultural standpoint, like, I don't want her to be ever influenced by, you know, somebody that says, well, you're not going to go to college, right? So why don't you focus on this?
I remember in 10th grade, my teacher told me your vote doesn't matter. I don't know if
that specifically.
Yeah.
My counselor telling me, well, you don't have to take the SATs, right? Because you're not going to college. And I'm like, and I said, nah, yeah, you're right, I'm not, right? Instead of like, wait, why not, right? So go ahead, tell me about that.
Well, he just said your vote doesn't matter, but I think he just had some weird philosophy on how the presidents actually get elected.
Yeah.
And honestly, through my whole life, I was like, I don't think your vote actually does count. Like, I don't think going out and voting actually does anything. I think who the government wants president, or however the hell the government works, I think that's going to be the president. And that's kind of how I grew up living, or grew up thinking. And I guess that kind of validates your point on, like, you don't want someone educating your daughter saying some shit like that.
I'm going to give you an example, okay, as to what it is, right? What opened up my eyes to knowing that now she has her education here, but she also has her social aspect, because she's got tennis, basketball, fucking volleyball, dance. And the dance part is the one that really, you know, brought to mind what Judith meant this entire time. Because I'm very like, she needs to go to school, but obviously, like, whatever. What happened was that she was doing a choreographed dance, right? And she got out there and she was just dancing her ass off, like, no, boom, like nothing mattered. She was there with her group of little girls that were just dancing. but they were dancing in front of all the other school, in front of the entire school, right? And unless you've been judged and unless you've been made to feel a certain way by a bully or a semi-bully or just an offhanded comment, you'll never have that freedom to really express yourself. You're always going to be like, well, I'm not good. I'm not as good as all these little girls that have been dancing for years who are way better than me. Like she didn't care. Where if I am told, go shoot a free throw in front of 10,000 people, 40,000 people, I'm gonna be full of nerves,
right.
Even though I never miss.
Right.
Okay, I will feel that certain way, but you never. If you tell Liv, go shoot a free throw in front of a whole bunch of people, she'll do it. She has this like freedom, but only because she hasn't had the little assholes and assholeettes that live out there in the world, which I am sure at one point.
So is that what you don't like?
I
don't want that to happen.
I want her to have, a little bit of adversity, but not to the point to where it changes who she is as a kid.
It's almost like you want to be Kanye West's mom, telling Kanye West you can do whatever the hell you want to do and no one can stop you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what she told him?
Yeah, that's like kind of, I guess, how Kanye turned out to be Kanye. Besides like the crazy parts.
No,
like
I think the crazy part came from that though too.
Yeah.
He went a little bit too far. The overconfidence sometimes leads to irony.
But yeah, his mom told him, do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah,
and believe in yourself 100%.
No. I believe in structure. I believe in being a good member of society. But at the same time, like she's a good person and everyone's a good person. They turn different when somebody is not a good person. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how that experiment fucking goes on.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what Anyway, besides enough about your family, let's talk about me.
So your family, right? So right now you got
about my family.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. One of the main reasons I like doing the podcast is because sometimes I just go on these fucking tangents that I need to get out, and I'm not. I'm like last night. She was like, "Hey, is everything okay?" And in my head, I'm like, I'm a little bit stressed, but I'm like, "Yeah, everything's good."
Well, even today, I was thinking like, what the hell are we going to talk about on the podcast? And it usually never, even with me and Hitch. Well, I mean, besides when all the OpTic stuff was going down, you kind of know what you're going to talk about on the podcast. But it's interesting that you don't know. Like I didn't expect to talk about this. I was like, probably going to talk about like when I joined the 60-50 days, Scuff House, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, podcasts are interesting because shit you don't think is going to pop up. It pops up. And you kind of want to let it off your chest.
I do.
Like how I did a little bit earlier about talking about just how I grew up.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's therapeutic. It's like having a conversation in front of hundreds of thousands of people is dope.
Yeah.
You know, it's so good.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Because I see you tweeting and you say you always say like I always thought that I was going to be a part of the OpTic brand forever.
I did.
Yeah.
I always like I never.
It's like a gang, right? It's like blood in, blood out.
Sure. Yeah. I'd never thought for a second of like, of course, ever leaving, but like I just always thought it'd be there.
Do you think it's a learning moment for you though?
Yeah, sorta. It kind of made me realize, or it kind of, I guess made me realize like nothing lasts forever. As corny as that sounded,
no, it's true.
But to sort of, I guess, I have built something myself. Like people know the Maniac brand or whatever, but kind of to take a step forward with that. Like I look at what you think is the worst shit to happen ends up being the best stuff that happens to you. Like I kind of look at Hitch for an example, like when Jay or whoever the hell was like trying to pretty much fire him and sort of like took him off vision, stuff like that, and like the thing that he loved, like he was you could say he was like devastated by that, but that turned into him being able to just be a content creator and have his freedom to do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be like the best thing for him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When one door closes, another one opens.
Exactly. And I guess this, and I don't know, I just thought OpTic would be kind of a forever thing. I did watch, and for the first time, I watched like half of it, but it was you on Nade Shot's podcast. And because I never really knew, I sort of knew how you felt, but I never really knew how you felt about the whole OpTic situation. And it like kind of,
how did I feel?
You said on the podcast, you were like, I think you said something, I'm like paraphrasing or whatever, but you were like, I'm pretty much the only one that like benefited from there really not being an OpTic anymore, and it sucks, and that's the burden that you're gonna have to live with, and no one else should, or like should have to deal with, and I'm gonna have to live with that burden for the rest of my life, and it sucks. And I was like, damn. And then Nade Shot made some like joke afterwards, and I was like, God damn it, Nade, that was like such a moment. And he was like, damn, because he made a joke, and he was like, I had to cut the tension because like there was like when you said that, it was like, damn. Like I heard that, I was like, damn.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Forever.
Yeah.
Till the day that I die, that's what I have to live with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The lights, the glamour.
Yeah, man. It like, I don't want to say hurt to hear, but it gave me a new perspective. Like you kind of look at it like, man, Hecz cashed out, like, but yeah, that gave me sort of a new perspective on your mindset of it.
It was a technicality. That money would have came no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It was a technicality. It was a fucking technicality. That money would have came no matter what. Look at this industry. Look at what we built.
Yeah.
The money would have came no matter what. It just happened to come from. I don't. So many things happened. Yeah. So many like
stuff that you can't predict.
All right. It's like, think about every single basketball shot that's ever been shot that hit the rim and bounced all the way up, and then comes down and hits it. Like, and so many different things had like 30,000 people on one side exhaled at the same time, and that wind pushed it a little bit or pushed it a little bit back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the butterfly effect. But in this particular scenario, it was a fucking technicality. When I'm in my deathbed, okay, when I'm on my deathbed and I'm sitting there, I'm gonna be like, it was a fucking technicality. I'm gonna be like, I did everything perfect. Everything perfect. I would have never done anything other than the perfect thing for that particular scenario. I would have never. Still to this day, I did everything perfect. Still to this day, it was the one technicality. And I'm not talking about Jay. So it's gone on long enough. All the fuck Jays and all that shit, like that needs to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Like that also, hurts, and it hurts him too, I'm sure. That he and I no longer talk.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But it happened, and on my deathbed, on my golden throne, no, I'm kidding. It's gonna be the same thing. Like, I did everything perfect, and it's just one thing, one little thing. And it wasn't just one person; it was like a group of individuals. But yeah, no, it is, and it. I think about it every single day. I wake up and I'm like, okay, I owe it to a lot of people to do it again. You know what I'm saying? To be able to
serve.
Yeah, and I liked it. Hitch last week was like, stop what you're doing. Just do what you want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But I don't know. I've always liked I'm passionate about this shit. I know the alternative, and not that I'll ever go back to corporate America, but I know the alternative. I know what it's like to get to work and push 3, 4, 4, 3 to go take a piss.
Yeah. So since you said you're gonna do it again. So how do I get BTH started?
Okay.
What's the first?
Well,
step?
First of all, I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing it again. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Okay.
whatever. You know. How do you get BTH started?
I mean, I'll probably ask you a bunch of stuff off cam.
I think you have BTH like running already. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's there. I don't know. Do you want to start an esports team?
I don't know. I'm nervous about it because apparently, like, this one dude wanted to reach out to me because he's like has investors, and I'm just like, I don't fucking even know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know where you want to begin. I don't know how to begin. And I guess I've already began.
Yeah.
But it's just, I guess there's a whole corporate side to it that I'm scared of.
And it's not the ugly side.
I want to do.
I don't know if it's the ugly side of the business. It's just like the boring side of the business, right? Yeah. And if you're meetings
and I hate phone calls.
Okay, look, this is the thing.
I can't act like say this guy is like trying to help me build my company. I'm not that good of friends with him, but like he knows investor. He kind of knows what he's doing. Like I can't be on a phone call with him and sort of fake like I really fuck with him like that. Like I don't know.
So first things, look, you were supposed to be here at 10.
I got here at like 10:05.
Okay, that doesn't work in business. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it doesn't work in business. And Mike and I had the same conversation yesterday. Can you let Ice in? Mike and I had like Mike's like, yo, can I come through? We need to, let's talk about let's talk about what's up. And I'm like, he's like, all right, cool. What time? He said 3:00, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be here at 3:00. I have a meeting at 3:30, so I'm expecting to just and obviously if they want to hang out, or if you want to hang out, if you want to go get lunch and all that, like we'll make room for that.
Right.
But when on a business day, if I make a commitment to be somewhere, I'm the most punctual person in the world. I've never been late.
If you're on time, you're late. If you're 5 minutes early, you're on time.
Well, I'm exactly at the time. I'm exactly where I need to be at the time that I'm supposed to be. Right. That's just the way that I am. And in businesses do that. And it's not about you and your discipline. It's about the respect that you have for the other people that are changing their entire day to meet with you and have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it's not a matter of somebody being an asshole or a stickler or whatever.
Whatever, it makes sense. I don't know what that word means, but
it has nothing to do with like strictness. No, it has to do with
respect.
How it affects how you respect other people and their time.
Yeah.
And how it affects their schedule for the rest of the day. Because I was going back, like he showed up late, so I'm like, okay, I'm like, all right, cool, we're talking, and then I looked at my watch. I was having such a good time talking to him about the shit that we were talking about that I'm like, fuck, I'm 10 minutes late, so I have to go across the way and I have to say thank you for waiting for me.
Yeah, and I think it'll
then they have their own meetings they have lined up that I have now affected because he affected it.
Yeah.
So if you're not ready to do that, that's fine, but you have to hire somebody who is going to be there and who is going to be able to carry the conversation.
And I think I might need that.
Yeah.
But like, shit, you don't even
know what you're doing yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's an offline conversation that you and I are going to have.
Yeah.
But, I'll support it. I got your back. Know that.
But like even these people that have been helping me out with like the LLC, the trademark, all the taxes, all this fucking shit, I'm like they're going to websites I never heard, like all government websites because everything has to be official. And I have no idea, but they were there on time perfectly every single time. Even yesterday I was like out to eat and then there's like traffic on the way back. I'm like, I'm going to be a few minutes late, and I like show up and they're just there ready to go. And I'm like, it just makes me, I'm like, I want to work with you guys.
Yeah.
But I need to
That's the secret though. You're on the right path already. Because you didn't say, I want you guys to work for me. That's the wrong approach to everything you're ever going to do in this space.
Yeah.
When you start off on the right foot and say, I want to work with you guys, all the hierarchy bullshit, that's just has to happen because of whatever. But the second that you start to think of yourself as somebody's boss, that's when your shit just, there's no passion there. You got to be a part of a fucking team.
Yeah. One thing like with money, like money's, I'm not going to be I will take less money for more,
happiness,
I guess.
Because they don't go hand in hand.
But like, yeah, I want to like work with people.
Yeah.
And even if working with people rather than having a bunch of people work for me, like I want to work with people, and even if that will make me like less money, like I would just rather do that. I don't want to be looked at as a boss who's hiring employees. Yeah. And I don't know. But I mean, that's
it's a difficult scenario. First, you have to identify what it is that you want to do, right? Because BTH, as I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's actually a dope logo. I would wear that as an apparel brand. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna go down the line of being a business owner, you have to get ready because you're gonna have to carry that. Okay, like think about all the boring shit that you just mentioned, meetings and being on time and taxes and LLCs and all that. And then on top of that, you got to be a content creator. And then on top of that, you got to babysit all you dirty-ass little kids.
And I see like what you did, what Nate Shot did. And it's just, it's scary to even think about jumping into. Yeah. Because right now I'm just like, believe the hype. Like people know it's been my brand. It's been a brand with MLG since 2007. Like it's kind of like it's like an OG brand in esports, like one of the first sort of brands. And I built my following with this. So I already have it started, but it's just going to be like, damn, all right, where do I really want to take it? Which reminds me, believe the hype.shop.
Yeah.
Apparel dropping this Friday, August 30th.
Today's Wednesday?
August 31st.
So this is going live. So tomorrow, as you guys are watching this, tomorrow, August 31st, which is Friday.
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, 24 hours.
Well, no, Friday to Sunday, it'll be available.
Okay.
But then I want to have it to where like the basic Believe the Hype apparel is like this, just a plain sweatshirt with a hoodie. Is available at all times, but we're gonna work it out. This is my first time doing any of this stuff.
Yeah,
but
well, it's good. Look, I'm happy. People ask me, say, "Yo, what's Maniac talking about? Why is Maniac talking about leaving OpTic West?" But what I liked, I never liked that Nate Shot left, but it opened my eyes to the fact that we have a strong enough relationship to where, you know, we can be on different teams and still be friends. I mean, look, I spent an entire week at the 100 Thieves house, and I at no point felt like I was betraying anything or anyone. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm always going to be super supportive of anybody that wants to do anything. You know what I'm saying? That's going to better them in one way, shape, or form. But when it comes to the negative stuff that people do, you better believe that I'm going to be the nosiest guy ever, and I'm going to make sure that everybody walks a straight and narrow path, because your actions, your fuck ups are going to reflect on me, because as a friend, my job is to make sure that nobody's fucking up, which is one of the reasons why I always knocked on your fucking door to get the fuck out of bed. You know, because it's too much talent just fucking sitting there not doing shit. I can never, and birds of a feather.
Bro, I wish I was the person that woke up and was like, all right, like,
you don't have a choice though.
I think I'm just in such a habit of decades of years of just being able to wake up and not have to force myself. Yeah. I mean, I did have a job to where I'd wake up and I fucking hated life. Yeah. But I had to get up. Yeah. Like, and even though I'd be late, like, I'd still get up. But like, then it got to a point where I got freedom and I didn't have to get up. So I'd go back to sleep or whatever the hell. But I do think I'm like, I don't want to say addicted, but just I'm in such a, I don't know, I'm just not used to, maybe I'm just not used to, I want to say my mental health is just like, I just don't have that energy and blah, 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 but maybe I'm just not used to, like, maybe I can reprogram my brain to when I wake up, like, whether I have the energy or not, like, I'm up.
Yeah. The second that you tell yourself you have no other choice but to go do the shit that you need to do is the best thing to do. And I'm a hypocrite in saying this because I know that I have to go to the gym. And it's March last year was the last time I went to the gym. Yeah. Last time I did any physical activity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know that I shouldn't eat what I need to eat. So I'm a hypocrite in that case. But when it comes to the other shit, I can't be a hypocrite. I I allow myself to be lazy in the stuff that doesn't necessarily affect. But when it comes to something that affects a bunch of people, I have no choice. I have to get my ass up and go do that. You think I don't want to sit down and rewatch Ballers from season 1 all the way to now so I can rewatch
Really? Is that a good show?
No. It's one of my shows.
No, is that a good show?
Oh, it's an amazing show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the fucking Rock. The Rock is the literal best thing ever. You know, there's you know how Will Smith is that guy right now?
Yeah.
Or has always been, and will probably will always be for me, obviously.
I mean, The Rock is...
The Rock is like right there.
Yeah.
The Rock is right there.
I heard he was a diva, though. Vin Diesel.
Who isn't?
Tyrese. From Fast and Furious.
Dude, you bet. Look, man, when you get that successful, if you don't know how to act as a rich person, you're not living life. You know what I'm saying? I want my peanuts to I want my blue
that's
M&Ms.
That's kind of what it was. Like people were saying about Rock. Like,
I'm part of a private members only club.
Yeah.
If somebody fucks up my order, it's the only time I ever say that. It's the only time I ever like, this needs to go fucking bad.
Yeah, I've never complained in my life about food or
same ever. But in this place.
Like, you'll talk shit about it, and they come around. You're like, oh, it's great. Thank you.
No.
Or like, how's the food?
No. Well, even in regular restaurants, when somebody's like, how's the food? And I'm like, it's all right.
Really?
And
I'm like, good.
Well, it's like, and also to the same side, when they say, oh, thank you. Like, well, first of all, you didn't fucking cook this. So don't take credit for my man's in the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy. Anyway. All right. So Believe the Hype this Friday goes live. I'm going to be one of your customers. Friday, you better believe that.
And then I'm going to try to have it to where it's just available all the time. And then we'll try to cook up some cool stuff.
Awesome. And what's the website?
BelieveTheHype.shop. It'll just link you to...
Shopify?
No, it'll link you to my distributor's website. Now,
got it. It's your distro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. Cool. Matt, we'll put that in the description down below. Everybody, thank you for stopping by and tuning in. I do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for you, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, you're welcome. This is quick. How long was it? Like an hour?
Yeah.
Is that all your podcast?
No, it's just that I have a meeting. I had a meeting at 11, and it's now 11:25, and I have my boy that's waiting for me right over there.
All right.
So thank you for stopping by and being on time.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, man.
Peace out, guys.
Yeah, dudes. See you guys on the next one.